fat loss, weight loss, 100%. Change things around. What's up, everybody? Today we have another video. Just I was out running this morning, wasn't going too hard, and was just thinking to myself that once I come back and have some decent breakfast, I'll record this video just to speak about fat loss, weight loss. The major things that came into my mind was to share this based on my own experience, and I heard some other people, more like who are personal trainers, who've been in this field for a longer period of time, talking about same things, just maybe with different words. So I'll be probably more plainly than somebody else with a degree or something, but just to give you the message. So generally there are a couple of main things that why we might be working hard but still not seeing these fruits, what we mean like on this fat loss, weight loss journey. So probably the most common thing, as it all starts with, is your calorie deficit. And again, we coming back to this, and if you go online, you'll see numerous people saying it doesn't matter, you don't have to count calories, you'll be top notch anyways, you just eat healthy foods and you'll be okay, don't worry. Whoever's trying to regulate and put in this framework that you have to calculate calories all the time, look what you eat, it's all BS. Believe me, it is. And believe it or not, but what you do is, without realizing these little things that you add on your daily calorie intake, these are the ones that keep you either in weight maintenance, or actually you get a little surplus every single day, and without noticing you actually start put a little bit weight on, and over the time you might be thinking, oh, this doesn't work completely because I've been doing this for so long and I've been working so hard, but nothing makes any difference. So we have to be very careful with all these little add-ons. I think this is the point that I would like to talk about today, is these little add-ons that we don't take into account. And this is that actually might be destroying your hard work, because you've been doing this over and over again, and it seems like one day or 1 week we see a result and then suddenly nothing, or you just seems like I've just bulked up, and especially after some weekend when you decided not to track it. And this is one of the worst things, because once you don't do it, you allow yourself, this way you take that guilt away because you don't see the actual numbers. It's the same if you go out and pay with a card every time, not thinking how much you're spending. So for example, you grab your girlfriend, your wife, and you go out and say, darling, I'm gonna buy you something today. So we just go and buy with the eyes. So you just tap it, you come home and you come home and you check the card, 2 grand is gone. Why? Because you didn't pay attention. If you would have cash, if you set aside cash 1 grand and say, we are not going to go above this limit, we're gonna stick in with this grand, you are in charge. And you know, if you go into the one shop and you pay 200, you know, we have 800 left. You go into the other shop, we pay another 300, you know, okay, I have 500 left. So when you go further, you decide how much you're going to spend. Exact same principle applies to your calories. Calorie deficit is the key for fat loss. It is the key. Remember, write this on your forehead. This is the key. And if you perfectly think that you calculate whatever example, let's go simple and easy, 2000 calories a day. It's just number-wise is the simplest way to see things. So you perfectly count down 3 meals a day. You make up nice, for example, 1650 calories with these 3 meals. Averaging average out roughly 550 calories per meal. That brings you up to the 1650. So technically we have 350 left. So you might punch in some snack, or what I used to do sometimes, I don't know how the day goes, because sometimes if I have spare time, I could throw in some exercise, and after the day I might feel a bit tired, and I wouldn't want to go for bed when I'm like starving myself or feeling hungry. So I would have something, I would always leave some reserve of between 150 to 250, 100 calories, so I could squeeze in. It could be protein shake, it could be some fruit, or a spoon of peanut butter, whatever is allowed within your range. And the biggest thing what we do wrong is, for example, let's start with a breakfast. We do this fry, and you crack the eggs, you do this and you do that. You perfectly put it in your app or whatever way you count your calories, and it seems nicely. We fit our macros within 550 calories. We munch it away, and happy days. And we keep this for over the time, and we don't see result. But it does really matter. How do you fry your stuff? It is possible that the oil you are using, it has a bunch of calories. So I realized the other day, just for a crack, I measured out. So one tablespoon of olive oil, I think, came out as 120 calories. So if you perfectly calculate out your daily calorie intake, and you have left over, for example, 150 calories at the end of a day, and you said, oh, happy days, so before I go to bed I have a shake, which usually around 100 calories or so. So we would still want to leave about 50 or so, just so we never know, because calories, that's one thing, calories can't be perfectly counted. There's no way to do that. We have this a rough estimate with all these calorie things. Same with exercises. We will never know how much exactly you burn, because all your gadgets, all your watches, phones will say one thing, but it could be totally different. Anyway, it works pretty well anyway if you are within this range. So back to the subject. So if you have, let's say, 150 calories left, and you go for bed, and you decide, oh, I feel a little hungriness, and maybe I squeezed in one workout at the evening time, 40 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe weights, and you think, okay, I'm just going to have that shake. And you have that shake, and that's the 100 calories. And then you think, bang on, I am just within my, just around 2,000 calories. But you didn't realize that in the breakfast time, you added that teaspoon, or even more, that olive oil. Because sometimes you don't measure, you just pour out. So you've actually no clue. And once you have no clue, again, it's like paying with a card. You know the amount when you're paying, but if you do several transactions, I highly doubt that if you do more than 5 transactions, that in your head you have a total sum of these 5 transactions. You will only figure that out if you either go to the ATM or you check the bank on your phone. So that's one of the things. So you can easily get these 100 calories that are extra, and so we are not in the perfect calorie deficit that would want for the day. But also, there could be something that you also added while having lunch. So for example, it could be some sauces. You think it's only a sprinkle of mayo or whatever. It could be 60 calories, could be 70. Some sauces has more sugars. It's not really about the sugars. It actually comes down to the calories. But as you know, or if you don't know, so the protein, as 1 gram of protein has 4 calories. Carbohydrates, 1 gram has 4 calories. Fat has 9. So if you have some sauce that is more in fat, you're munching in a lot of calories. And this is, again, you might have healthy option with chicken breast, salads. I'm nothing against the oils once it's within your calorie range. But as I said, it's extremely easy to overeat. So for example, you didn't count this tablespoon of olive oil in the morning, we forgot to add whatever sprinkle of sauce in lunchtime, which could be maybe between 50 to 80 calories. So that brings us up nearly to 200 calories. Then we maybe forgot to throw in a snack, even an apple. An apple could be, it depends, green, red, big, large, and so on. But it could be easy from 100 to 120 calories. It depends really per size of the fruit and the color as well. I found out that red apples are usually more with more calories. So that's another thing. And let's say the dinner time. So we having this dinner. It's again, everything is perfectly calculated out. We are bang on with our macros, and then you just turn around and you feel thirst. And the first thing it comes into your mind, oh, I'd like to have a nice cold glass of milk instead of having a water, or it could be anything. So we'll come back to the milk, but anyway, so you throw down one like milk. So again, around roughly, that's an average, that's just usual. So 100 milliliters of milk is around 50 calories, 50, 60, so roughly. So a glass of 200 ml, we're talking about 100 calories. So if you are having a coffee, so for example, you had this great lunch or whatever, happy days, free morning, go out with some mates, catch up for a coffee. It's not necessarily that you drink a latte, which is, again, 180 to 200 calories. You can have Americano, which is only around 60 calories or so. But again, if you don't count that, then we pour in some milk. It could be between 20 to 40 milliliters of milk. So that, again, comes out as additional 20, 30 calories. So one even black coffee with milk could cost you around 40, 50 calories. So let's go back in the morning. So we have tablespoon of olive oil with our eggs, so that's about 120. Then we might have some sprinkle of sauce on something at the lunchtime, which could add another 60. So that brings us up to about 180. So then we might have some coffee with milk unknowingly that we don't add. That could add another 40, 50 calories. So that brings us up, I think, to 230. And let's say some not calculated snack or even a glass of milk after the dinner that we didn't realize that you sipped it out without unknowingly that it has some calories too. So we could easily have additional 250 to 300 calories if you don't pay attention. So usually what happens is once we start our fat loss journey, we would calculate our macros. For example, if our maintenance calorie intake for a day would be, let's say, 2,400, just for example. So to be in deficit and successfully start lose weight over time, you would want roughly 400 to 500 calorie deficit. So that would be about 1,900 to 2,000 calories. But if we perfectly match out these meals during the day and we don't add these little things, it will just ruin. And the worst part of this is you will think that you are doing extremely well with your nutrition. I am healthy, I am eating good, I am able to stay on top of my meal prep and so on, and you don't see results. And the main reason why is because you don't add these little things, or you just simply try to escape the truth, especially when you go out on the weekend. So we go to the cinema, you grab a popcorn, maybe you get a chocolate bar, you grab some sugary drink, something else, and you think it's just, yeah, but we're having a night out, so what could have happened? This is the problem. If you don't put that down, of course you can have it, but then cut down on something else on that day, especially if you know that you'll be going evening time for this treat. Have a little smaller breakfast, or even on the day before, do a little deficit. Leave the calories on the day before at 1,700, and the next day do 1,700, and then have that extra treat while you're having a cinema time. I think that's it. we're not going too mad in this one. It's just that we're nearly 15 minutes in. I think these are the key points I wanted to point out. Are the things that we think that are not going to do harm, but they actually will. And you will be struggling. The reason why, because is simply not counting these things will put you into maintenance, your weight maintenance, which means you neither are losing or gaining. And sometimes you might think, wow, I'm on a weight plateau, nothing is happening, so I'm eating healthy, I'm getting steps in. About exercises, we are gonna have this conversation another day, because that's totally another thing. And honestly, as more you do, won't make you lose fat straight away. Or it's a subject for another day. We come back to that. Today's point was why we still doing properly our diets and following our calories. We are still not seeing results. So I hope this gave you a heads up, and be careful. Put that down. Anything that goes in. And the best part of that is, over a few weeks' time, you will realize. So for example, if you have that lunch, which is around 550 calories or 600, whatever, happy days, you know your lunch, and you will find some meal plans that work for you. It's cool. You know what's the calories, you know what's the protein. So basically, you know all the macros. Happy days. It fills up your day. You don't starving yourself. You're still seeing result. You're slowly losing fat. And just by adding that sprinkle, could easily go from 550 to 650 or even to 700. And knowing this, next time, you'll think twice, do I really need it? Or maybe, if I want that sauce, maybe I'll put a bit less carbs, because we still want to top up our proteins. So there are things to play around as soon as you realize what could be causing the damage. So that's it. It's the same like when you have a tire. Once you find a puncture, you fix that and you keep journey. It's the same with this. So your daily calorie intake has to be spot on. It has to be in calorie deficit in order to have that result. So I hope this helps, and these are the little tips that definitely will change things around 100%.